Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Legend of the Five Rings, Bone, Blood, and Blade story. I am the Rebel Sarkhan. My name is Will, and I'll be your storyteller this evening. And last we left off, we opened up with our little dragon, Tamori Mori, as they were investigating the crime scene on their own after being left alone by the Doji. We got to see the Edda placed the spear tips in a basket, and once all of them were collected, they turned into a black mass of a slug that tried to find its way out of the room. But Tamori stepped onto it with all of their might, and the second the creature died, it let out a shriek of pain, a psychic shriek of pain, rather, and it ended up killing both Edda that were there and hurting a few of the people scattered around the magisterial castle. Uh, and with its death, they saw that the slug had turned into a sliver of obsidian. And after a comic rendition of chopsticks with the two swords that they have in their possession, they flicked the obsidian out the window and onto the street below, where it couldn't hurt anyone. And then they ended up climbing down and burying it in the dirt, so nobody could just come by and pick it up or do anything with it. By contrast, as the Doji was making his way back to his encampment, he saw the phoenix emerge from the earth itself, as if they were being pushed up out of the ground. All of their tents were already set up. The people were walking around, and he was introduced to Isawa Kikyo, excuse me, who introduced him to the rest of the teachers. There is an Asoko Potetaro, and there is also a other young lady who is the Isawa Deramego. Oh, that's one of the students. I apologize. Shiba Nomoremi is the other female that was introduced to him. He saw them rather push sound out of the tent, so that nobody could intrude on their conversation. And once they were protected, the Doji let them in on everything that's been happening. They were told that they should be hanging out in groups of three, and they were told that this is reminiscent to something that happened in Shiromori-sato, which is the village from our first season. They revealed that they had been aided by Kuni Seiso, which is one of the members of the group from season 1 as well. And that he had been in the mountains kind of following some leads, but that he was within easy reach should they need him. Once he arrived back at his encampment, he sat down for some dinner with his wife, and he grabbed a bottle of sake and just kind of word vomited everything to her to try and get her opinion on certain things. Tamori came rushing over to share the experience at the crime scene. They ended up burning the dragon's shoes after seeing that there was some of the black remnant on there. They came across a Guro kind of standing outside the tent with a couple of apples, as they picked up a new set of shoes for the little dragon. And the crab ended up telling the dragon to rest up. Doji ended up at the magisterial building to see the ramifications of the psychic incident, and ended up talking to a guard, one of the nurses, and a magistrate that had made himself a little bit too familiar with the luxuries of the nurse's outfit. There's a nice little moment, and unfortunately, for the Doji at least, the ever-loving or ever lovable Etta that he has grown to dislike showed up, as he is him and his wife are now the only Etta in the city. And they went about picking up after the situation. The next day, Tamori and Doji woke up to some tea. They saw Aguro come in with some rice porridge. They learned that the Kuni was told about the slug, and everybody made plans to meet up at the fisherman's shrine once they got their gear, so they could go across the river, try and find out where the ruins are that have been talked about. And then we got to see a nice moment between the Doji and his daughter as the events list was put up for the Genpuku ceremony. Now that all the clans are gathered, they can start in earnest. And he went over, asked Isawa to come with them, and then also made sure that the Kuni had at least some armor to protect her. And we left off with the Tamori, the Aguro, the Hida Aguro, the Isawa, and the Kuni joining Doji at the shrine where they are about to head across the river. The day has become overcast. There is a light spatter of rain, and there's a roll of thunder proclaiming the coming of a storm. But we get to meet our intrepid heroes. Kind of right where we left off, except for Soshi. Hello, everyone. Good to see your faces gathered here.
Hello.
So, would Doji have sent a word to Soshi, or do you think that you will have enough with the Sawa and the Kuni there with you?
Seeing that the Scorpion was useful when we faced that thing the first time, because if I remember correctly, he blasted living crap out of it. Do I remember that correctly?
I mean, he helped, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if blasted it is the right thing to say to somebody who is air affinity.
Well, no, Eric could blast.
No, air gets the job done.
Yeah.
Give you a blast.
And actually, they pulled more information out of literally thin air than we got any time before.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
yes, even though Scorpions are distasteful, I would still invite him.
Okay.
Oh, but you can't be impolite.
Exactly. I can't be impolite. Everybody should share in the same chance of death.
Heaven forbid that only the two
everybody
of you...
Everybody should have an equal chance at honor of dying for the Empire.
Correct. So we're gonna find Soshi.
So yeah, I would have called for him for sure.
We'll find Soshi a couple hours before everybody gathers up. You awaken for the first time without being drenched in sweat. You find that your mouth is not dry as sandpaper, and for a moment you almost feel like, as you push yourself up into a sitting position, that you've used both arms to do it. But you look and you see that you still have the one functioning arm.
I do not appreciate that particular psychological deception. So I gather up my things and I step out to try and get my bearings.
As you're gathering up your items, you see the door, the kind of flap to your tent shift, and you can see the imprints of shoes, but it isn't until the darkness of the tent really becomes normalized that you see the outline of what looks to be a woman. And the shadow sits down in a dark corner, and you see it as she does, she becomes more solid. And there's a smile that comes across her face. I take it you enjoyed your reprieve from your night terrors that I've given you.
Is this the Bayushi harlot that I had an issue with before, or is this my beloved?
No, this is neither.
Oh, well then, lay on, Macduff. What do you have for me?
But it points at the wakizashi in your possession. This is but a taste of what we offer you, my associate Soshi-san.
Am I to surmise then that this tainted relic that I have
Painted.
decided to study, well, in the eyes of many of the less enlightened, Rokugan would consider to be tainted? I will assume that you are affiliated with it, as is the one that I have gained this from.
We are one and the same, but is something so magnificent worthy of being called tainted? I wonder. It doesn't have any connection to the Shadowlands. And though I may be made of shadow, I am not of the Shadowlands.
The most perfect cherry blossom can be undone by a single piece of rot, as you well know. I do not, as of yet, know your bouquet, to continue my analogy. I, however, am not one to cast aside a potential tool of any kind that might be valuable in my service to the Empire.
You are a
We
true
Scorpion do not have
member
the... Yes.
of your clan.
We do not have the luxury of scruples. To a point, of course, there are lines even we won't cross, but, well, we've done worse to save less. Have you a name, or shall I merely call you Shadow Maiden?
We don't use names. They are trivial. They are bothersome, at least. We are one and the same.
Then, have you a title or something that you may be called in preference? Because otherwise, I'm going to have to create a name for you. And as you say, while some consider names to be trivial, names also have much power, especially among the spirits. I would hate to think that I would so carelessly and callously give you a name that would be unfitting to your stature.
You may keep your analogy then. Call me Petal.
Very well, Petal. I assume you already know my name, so speaking it aloud would be superfluous.
Soshi-san, there is much that we know about you. You have given us ample time to study you over the course of this evening.
Yes, well, I will say you have me at a bit of a disadvantage. I've only had a limited amount of time to study you, but I look forward to building that mutual education as our time together continues. For I suspect that one way or the other, your, and I say your, meaning your collective, not necessarily you as an individual,
Of course.
petal on a tree, uh, is going to be around for quite some time.
I hope so. I look forward to our time together. I think that, like the other artifacts, I've come into the possession of the Scorpion from my collective, that we will help each other as we have helped each other before.
And I suppose that it might be useless to ask you how many of my clan have items that you have given them or allowed to fall into their possession. Furthermore, I imagine it would be useless for me to ask if you know anyone specifically that I might also know, that I could collaborate with on further study.
I can reach out to the collective and find out, but I can tell you that the number is greater than 0.
Well, consider me to be the affirmative that I am indeed greater than 0. And I do count myself among cautiously interested in pursuing our mutual alliance. However, I do not understand how or why you and your brethren thought it would be advantageous to take part in the murders of those that you helped kill.
Don't understand this word murder.
To kill.
We are shadows, Soshi-san. We cannot kill. Those that are affected by us might turn to baser instincts. That is a thing. But we are like a
So,
rock, inert until forced upon action.
and like a rock, I suppose one could trip and fall and crack their skull open against your surface. My concern, though, is that I've seen shadows come into tents in the night and murder those who are inside through blade, through subterfuge, through otherwise. And at what point does your kind, who does not kill, feel the need to implement a blade to end the life of a one more like me than yourself?
That I can tell you assuredly, Soshi-san, is not part of the collective. Whatever you have seen
Oh.
and whatever has been done is not us.
Then I would ask,
I
in the
can
spirit of
help you
excellent.
find these usurpers, we'll call them. And she stands up and she grabs, like she's grabbing your hand with her hands, but it's your missing arm. And she grabs at the air, but she actually does grab mass, and you feel it. You feel her grab your arm for a moment, and then you see that there's this shadowy extension from your nub down to where the fingertips are. And then she steps back. When you feel like something is amiss with these usurpers around, you may summon a tinge of our consciousness into yourself. Since you have such a willing vessel,
And could you give me, in the spirit of mutual friendship, a knowledge of what my price for such a gift is going to be?
oh, you've already paid it, Soshi-san. You carry us with you. Choice.
And I'm assuming it is also my choice to cast it aside.
Should you wish to forego the gifts that have been given to you, it is your choice, yes.
No, I most assuredly did not say that.
And you see that
You never know when.
she brings her hand up to your face, and she doesn't touch you, but she does kind of hover there. Seeing that we have given you a night of terrorless sleep, that you have the ability to call on your lost arm again, and that should you need it, should you want it, something could happen to your mother. These are gifts that I think a lesser man would have trouble discarding.
Much as it would pain me deeply to see my mother harmed in any way, I, well, let's cross that bridge when we come to it.
Accidents happen, Soshi-san, and you see her start to walk towards the tent flap.
And we so often find those willing to help float us across the water. And I offer her a small bow.
She returns it.
Even a petal, even an errant petal, if large enough, can carry us through the waves.
I believe, from what I remember, the story says that you are well versed in how to swim. And
Doesn't mean we don't appreciate a ride now and then.
as a smile comes across her face, you see the tent flap open as if somebody wants to say something, and the second the light comes in, she disappears. And you don't see anybody step in, but you do see the shadow of a guard, and you hear, Soshi-san, there is a message from the doji. Shall I leave it for you?
As the guard enters, I manage to check myself mid-bow, because I actually did want to bow to this creature. They spoke eloquently, and they dealt with me in a straightforward manner, in the same roundabout way I like to deal with things. So, me and Petal, I'm shipping that.
All right. The Lying Darkness has always had a way with Scorpion.
Love me the Lion Darkness. Yes, well, I do not want to keep the doji waiting. I believe I shall have my breakfast and then attend upon the summons.
Of course. Here, I have brought some with me, and he puts down a platter inside the tent flap, and he leaves the scroll, the rolled up kind of note that the doji wrote for you.
I look about for my apprentice.
All right. They're out practicing. What is the note? What would you have written in the note for the Soshi?
May I have a PS at the bottom?
Maybe. I don't. I may have let you think I wrote it, but didn't. Totally depends on what you're saying. I have to protect you from yourself sometimes.
Okay, wait.
Somebody has to.
Wait. Chewy, what can I roll to like put in a secret little code at the bottom? What do I have to roll?
Well, I'm the one writing it, so it's kind of hard for you to do it.
Yeah, it will be difficult to add anything.
So I write basically, we have a lead on the location of the threat that's presented itself. We will be heading out in the morning. Meet us at the temple, blah, 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 blah.
The fisherman's shrine.
Where strongly suggest you wear armor.
Does Soshi have armor?
I am a master of mystical forces. Armor's for noobs.
Did you say newts like the amphibian?
No, noobs.
I said noobs like the newbies that don't know enough yet.
That's what I assumed that you said,
I
kind of like.
I do have a kind of armor I can summon, but I don't. I believe that the best armor walks on two legs and can speak for itself most of the time.
Yeah.
Um,
Because you weren't here when the Phoenix arrived and the championship events were listed. And just to give you a refresher, you have 3 days before the championship starts in earnest. Every even day is a rest day. So there's a rest day between each day's events. The first day will be archery in the morning, poetry in the afternoon. Third day, we'll have an obstacle course in the morning and a painting in the afternoon. Fifth day has horse racing in the morning and origami in the afternoon. Day 7, we'll see them participating in a mock warfare to test their tactics in the morning, and then it will be a history test in the afternoon. The 9th day is completely set aside for just duels. And then the 11th day will be the celebration and also the coronation of this year's Topaz champion.
Well, I know I don't want to miss the poetry recitals, and origami has always fascinated me. The fact I can do even rudimentary origami with one hand is something I'm very proud of.
Actually, that would be impressive as hell.
Your origami
And I
rock
don't-
is magnificent.
Yeah, it is incredible. I also want to make sure I'm there for the duels because I believe I'm entered in one of the duels. So
No, teachers aren't dueling. You could try to convince them for a display. If any of the other Shugenja teachers are up for the not the challenge, but like the display of it. I don't know. It feels very show offy. So I don't know if the Isawa definitely won't participate, but you might.
Sochi would do it.
Oh, if he had Shugenja abilities, he would be, yeah, of course.
No, I meant the show offy part.
Oh yeah.
I didn't say I wanted to duel a Shugenja.
Oh.
I would like to take part in both the. I'm assuming one of the combats is going to be jujitsu, which I very much would like to take part in, because I feel that if a one-armed man can beat someone in a slap fight, then I deserve a little bit of it. And I also want to see if I can arrange a bout of first to be knocked down, first brought to the ground, no holds barred. I think would be a lot of fun.
Okay.
And I would happily, if our crab friend wanted to participate, I would happily want to take part with them if they thought that might be fun.
If you, I will tell you that if you bring up the idea of a show of jujitsu between some of the matches as a break, he will definitely be up for that.
And I will put myself in. I mean, obviously, I don't want to necessarily go up against a 350-pound,
Gorilla
dude from the wall, but I think it might be fun to have a straight jujitsu fight,
for sure,
just for funsies. Gotta prove not all Scorpion Shugenja are, not physically adept at what they do.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, Oguro, although he is big, he might not be the best at wrestling.
Plus, I mean, not for nothing, but I can cheat my ass off before I actually go in there. So that's always.
I believe that jiu-jitsu is an underappreciated art form.
It is.
It is.
That's one of the reasons I took it. I thought it would be fun for the one-armed guy to know a lot about hand fighting.
Yeah.
It is.
So
Yeah.
I will turn to my guard. Do convey a reply to our noble associate that I will be attending upon him shortly. I will attend once my breakfast has been finished. And then from there, we will meet before the poetry competition.
Oh, you've got days before the
No, it's days, dude. Yeah.
before the events
well,
start in earnest.
And I want to make sure we meet before the poetry competition.
Oh, yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
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 So
Okay.
that'll plenty of time.
Yeah, for sure.
And seeing that we ate breakfast, so yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you meet up at the Fisherman's Shrine. You see that not only is the Doji there and the Tamori is there, but also the Hida, the Kuni, and there is a beautifully dressed in orange and yellows with hints of red and kind of dressings of red along the lines of her kimono. There's a very clear phoenix with them. No armor, as well as so you can only assume that they are also a Shugenja. And they don't have a katana at their belt. They do just have the wakizashi. But everybody sees you approaching. The Hida and the Kuni both kind of nod low. What does Tamori and Doji do when they see?
Very
I give a proper bow.
Yep.
I'm not gonna, try to make a show of anything.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
I just do like
I
the smallest
offer
of bow.
a bow of respect as befits both of their stations.
Okay. The Isawa steps forward and she introduces herself. She bows low to you. Soshi-san, I've heard much about you. I am Isawa Kikyo.
Well, Isawa-san, I certainly hope that anything you've heard about me has been either positive or amusingly scandalous.
And she smiles, and there's a little bit of blush that comes to her cheeks, and she's like, "Oh, Isawa Tensai could say it's a mixture of both."
I'll accept that. Thank you. So, I read in your missive that there was something said about where to find the origin of these creatures. I've been engaging in my own investigations in the interim, for, as you know, investigating is one of my favorite pastimes.
It is, and that's why I asked you to come along. You have been incredibly effective.
Incredibly effective.
So, I need to ask you something. Have you ever heard of a black ooze that, when it's killed, creates a psychic attack that seems to hurt everybody in the building, and killing people who are of a weaker mind?
I don't know. GM, do I know anything about this?
Let's have you make a roll.
What role do you want me to make?
Let's see what skills you have, and let's find out what would be best built for this. You have lore, theology. Could be a spellcraft roll. Doesn't look like anything else.
Give me that sweet spellcraft.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'll let you choose either one of those two. If you're gonna go with spellcraft, on your character sheet, you're gonna notice that there are 3 D20 buttons. One is the first one is untrained, the middle one is trained, and then the last one is to roll with an emphasis. So you're gonna roll the middle one for spellcraft.
What's the TN?
I'll just say however high you get, that will give you more information. So
Okay.
the
Because
higher
I
you get,
didn't know what I should be calling to shoot for raises and whatnot. So
okay.
here we go.
Woo! 20. Not
I'm good
bad.
at dice.
Yeah. Look at you. It's not a bad roll.
Nope.
A black ooze, anything that turns into obsidian, has a touch of the Shadowlands. A black ooze being killed and turned into obsidian is new to you. And that kind of frightens you that something with that Shadowlands attachment could be found so far away from the wall. From the parts of the wall, because the Caillou wall hasn't been constructed yet.
Well, there have been theories posited about the nature of the Maho and the shadow creatures. Generally, anything that becomes obsidian has the taint of the Shadowlands about it. The fact that this creature or creatures is present this far from the barrier is distressing, but it is definitely in league with the shadow tainted.
Well, the creature's no longer alive, so if that's helpful in any way.
The singular creature is no longer alive. However, much like a pustule or pox, one can assume that if you see one, there must be more living either under the skin or soon to spread. Disease works like that.
And you see
I do not.
a girl kind of elbows, like softly elbows to Mori, and just kind of like nods.
Yeah.
And the Maho sorcery and shadow taint are most assuredly a disease that
So if
may
you came
never be
across,
truly excised.
You sound
if
smart.
you came up, oh god, a girl, hold up. What would you suggest we do if we find one of these creatures, by any chance?
Yeah, we should bury it. Yes.
Right? That's my fucking. And then, like, it's like
You
I
probably
slap him
want
on
to
the chest, like,
you
yeah,
probably want to
guys.
Well-
step on it as hard as you can.
Do we have any jade?
No.
I mean,
No.
Aguro and the Kuni both take out their finger of jades.
Well, that would be a start. Jade is anathema to these creatures, and if
Is
we
what
can,
to these creatures?
in
Poison.
opposition.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah. No, I got it.
Yeah.
So
I really
if
need to
we
make
could
sure I get some of
obtain something made of it to the fingers of jade will act as a ward. However, a weapon or something capable of bestowing its qualities to a weapon would be very advantageous. There are creatures similar to what we're hunting, but they are not as infused, the shadow taint, as the things that we are hunting. I have some familiarity with those, and I can try to see if my tracking and gifts will translate from one to the other. If I can use one, then I may be able to adapt the methods to apply to these creatures that we're hunting.
You see, after a moment, Aguro grabs the leather thong around his piece of jade, pulls it up over his neck, and he just goes, "You should hold on to this then, Tamori-san, since you're the one being targeted by these things."
I'm being targeted by these things?
Isn't that what you were saying with the slug?
Oh, no, I mean, I just found it. They weren't like coming after me or anything. No, you keep it. And like, they push it. Like they're like, no.
Given what you've told me that these slugs only try to infest those of a weak mind, there's no way they could possibly be targeting Tamori.
And the mental gymnastics that Tamori does as quickly as possible. Be like,
hold on. I just step and I look at the scorpion and go, "You are correct."
Yeah, you're correct.
They are one of the strongest willed people I know.
Also, somebody died next to me, so I was much stronger.
I'm sorry, did you think that I wasn't being sincere?
Not at all. I was agreeing with you.
Excellent.
And a girl kind of stands there and is like, and again he pushes his hand into yours. Is like, no, you should take this. You're gonna need this, I think, more than me.
They like hold his hands, and they're like, I can't deny you if you tell me this again, but I'm gonna tell you no.
And you see that he blushes, like he becomes red cheeked, like the only redder shade you've seen so far is the apple that he's given you. And then he's like, no, and he just completely looks away. He's like, and just forces his fist out. No, you should take this.
I graciously accept this finger of jade, and then
yes.
they like put it on themselves.
Okay.
Where you said it? Where would I put it?
Yeah, there's a little leather strap that holds it in a harness, and then kind of comes up to a necklace.
Okay,
Yeah.
So they put the necklace on, and they like tuck it underneath their stuff.
Yep.
I believe this is the first time I've ever seen a Bushi refuse a weapon that could benefit them. Fascinating.
Tamori like leans over to Hide and is like, I hate everything this man says, but he's so useful.
He just kind of like looks down at you. He's like, he uses such fancy words. I don't know half of the things he says, but I nod.
You're
So
doing
I start to walk
really great job.
like in the direction we're supposed to be going, and
Yeah.
all I say is, and of course, little dragon, my wife has no idea what she's talking about. I just keep walking.
Your wife has no idea what she's talking about?
Mm-hmm. You
I don't
two
remember.
watching like little like children.
Submissive.
Yeah, nothing at all. Nope, nothing at all.
Well, as long as we make it back from this excursion in time for the poetry and my bout at the jiu-jitsu competition, I believe that we will be
stop
fine.
for a second. I go, "You're what?"
You're what?
I will be taking part in the jiu-jitsu. Oh yeah, none of them have seen me use it. Only the scorpion that tried to get up in my grill.
And a girl looks at you. He's just like, aren't you missing something for jiu-jitsu?
Immediately Tamori, instead of like they want to cover their mouth, but instead they accidentally like slap their mouth and then hold it, and it's like, damn, I'm pretty dumb, but shit. So yeah, I hit him in the mouth, not on purpose.
Yeah.
Maybe he likes it. Who knows?
Let me see.
I think it would actually be a bit of a boon, don't you?
That's not skink.
It depends.
That me having.
If you get to the floor, the lack of the arm actually gives you some maneuverability. You just have to use your legs more.
Besides, having only one arm will make it so that the rest of the field has a fighting chance.
The field of people?
I don't know.
The other competitors.
This.
I raise an eyebrow.
Yeah, a girl's like.
I turn around and I continue walking.
I will definitely want to test this theory out. I don't see how having one less appendage helps. And then he kind of looks over at Tamori and he's just like, I used appendage correctly. Correct.
Mayhap these spirits will allow us to test each other on the field in friendly competition.
As Hide's whispering to me, I like grab his shirt collar and I like bring him down to a little bit. I know we're still big, but like I bring him down a little bit and I'm like, I will give you whatever you want if you beat his ass in front of everyone. And like so sincere.
And he just stands there.
And then let go.
Yeah, he just stands there frozen. almost the entire time that you guys walk over to the ferry that's going to take you across the river. And it isn't until somebody calls his attention that he actually starts to come back and makes his way over. Everyone is geared up. There's armor. Aguro has his tetsubo. The kuni has a katana and a bow, a short little daikyu. Hankyu, sorry. And the Isawa has their wakizashi at their belt, but you notice that on the other side they have this about, I want to say, 8-inch in diameter scroll case, and you see her kind of rifling through what sounds like at least a dozen or so scrolls that are in there. Excuse me. And then she tops it off with the bamboo topper. Aguro kind of checks his armor to make sure he's fine. He's got this massive studded piece of metal and wood of a tetsubo that he has.
I'll check the back straps
Yeah.
of both their armors.
Yep. Yeah, and he checks yours. Like, he will grab you and actually pick you up so you're like a couple
That's
inches
fine.
off the ground.
I'm used to this treatment already.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Perfect.
what? You can't look
Can
down.
I
You have
try
to
it?
pick me up. You have to pick me up to your eye level. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Can I try it?
Yeah.
Can I pick him up and inspect him?
Yeah, sure.
No,
and,
you
and,
can't.
And he hands her.
Yes, I can.
He hands him to you. Yeah.
I'm just standing like this.
Try it.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is how I check
When I get the doji.
his tightness.
While everybody is passing each other back and forth, I'm kind of resting my back against the one of the masts.
Mhm.
I'm assuming it's a small vessel.
Yeah.
His hat, the
The Raiden hat.
straw,
Is the
straw
is
rain
the-
hat is on.
Yeah.
His mask is on and fitted. He has no weapons other than the wakizashi, and that has been strapped to his back. Although he does have, I think we established last time that I was able to use my illusions to disguise the wakizashi that I took as my clan wakizashi, if memory serves. That's something I was able to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has his wakizashi in his traveling bag, but he currently has, and I'll mark off the spell for it, the first level spell to keep the duration going for the day.
Yeah.
But he has the wakizashi he got from the
Shadow wakizashi.
Yeah,
Yep.
he has that, but it's disguised to look exactly like his clan wakizashi.
Yeah. Pete, what were
And
you
he
gonna
has
say?
a rice ball.
What were you gonna do, Pete?
Just one ball?
It's like one arm, one ball.
Yep.
Got it.
You're muted, Pete.
He's mute.
Is this boat with a sail or is it being rowed?
It's being rowed right now. It's being pushed. It does have a sail, but it's rolled up already.
Okay.
With the weather the way it is, the ferryman didn't want to use the.
I go up to the tip,
Mhm.
and I'm
Yeah.
taking this chance to take probably my last nap for a while. So I curl up with my head on the tip, and I get my straw hat and just put it down to my face, and I take a nap.
Okay.
Or taking a nap. Is that time?
And you see that the light spatter of rain has continued. It hasn't gotten terrible, and there is a moment where Aguro kind of comes up next to Tamori and opens up an umbrella and kind of holds it up, cover the two of you.
Where'd that come from?
Oh, I found it over there, and you see that there's a couple of umbrellas.
Oh.
And the
And Doji's just
ferryman's
sleeping
kind
in the
of.
rain?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep. Yeah, he
I
looks
address
over.
the.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
So I'm assuming it's an Edda that's piloting the boat that's acting as a ferryman.
It's a peasant, yeah.
Okay. Tell me, how deep does the water run on this vessel? The river underneath?
Samurai, at the deepest, the river is maybe 50, 60 feet.
And then I look over at what's the other the guy that was talking smack about my jujitsu?
Oh,
Hide?
the Hida Guru.
Yeah. He looks over at Aguro in his armor and then just smiles a little bit to himself and then resumes
Mhm.
watching the waves.
But yeah, it only takes about an hour to fight the current, go across the river, and you get to a point where the ferryman comes running off and ties off the boat. There's a little bit of a, not a cove or a gulf, but there is a nice inlet where the water, the current kind of softens. It's a place that you can see has had moors kind of fashioned to the ground so that fishermen can come here, kind of rest up or spend the night in case they get trapped by bad weather or whatnot. And the ferryman kind of bows low. I will wait here upon until you return, Samurai.
Thank you. If that storm starts to come in and it starts to get too dangerous, head back and come back in the morning.
Of course,
We need your boat in one piece.
as you wish, Samurai.
So I turn around and I say a small prayer.
Mhm.
And I go forward.
Okay. You trek through what is untamed wilderness. There is overgrowth. It looks like past 300 yards from the water's edge, there is no sign of civilization. This is definitely unclaimed country. Excuse me. So if I could have you guys roll,
Yeah.
see if you can find your way.
Yes. What do you want me to roll for?
I'll tell you right now. Let's do a. I'll let you do either investigation, hunting,
Or
I think those are the two that best serve it. I don't see anything else that. So investigation or hunting.
Where the heck is investigation? I don't see it.
grass.
It is a high skill. Hunting is a bouge skill.
Oh, okay, yeah, I found it.
Would my search specialty apply for investigation?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Doji and I, same level. Oh, Jesus
15,
fuck.
baby.
And then Ben comes in hot.
I got a 1.
I did better than a 1, I think, judging by what people are saying. I can't see my roll yet,
Yeah.
though.
No,
'cause
you
I don't
didn't.
roll
You
20.
didn't.
35.
It's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Tamori got 16, Doji got 15, and then Soshi came in with 35. So yeah, you coming in.
I'm only good at like
See,
3
this is
things,
why-
but I'm really
This is
good
why
at them.
I invited the Scorpion.
Mm-hmm. You know,
I'm about to say the squirrel.
just for funsies, let's see what a girl would have gotten.
Oguro would have hunting, bro.
He would, yeah.
Bro.
But I also rolled low, so he only got a 15. So you and him kind of both find the same tracks of the same creature. Yeah, and the Isawa rolled 17, so the three of you, the Isawa, the Aguro, the Kuni doesn't bother. They're kind of studying the plant life, studying the growths and the different things. So they're already taking notes on different things. But it is a Soshi that finds what looks to be a remnant of a walked path. There is this very clear delineation of where the grass or the wilderness is kind of grown up, and there's this wide area of a path, for lack of a better word. Um, Very clear as day once you know what you're looking for, and if you follow it, it will lead to what looks to be a valley, small uh, grove that looks to be growing sub water level. The rain threatens to, if it rains enough, it could threaten to inundate the valley itself, but you can see that there is a structure. It looks old, definitely not Rokugani in structure, like it's not tiered like the castles are. But it also looks old, weathered. It has been reclaimed by nature, and there's bits of it as you get closer that look to be just dilapidated wood, and there are strange symbols carved into it.
With my, sure I have that. Yeah, with my precise memory, everything I've read, does this architecture ring any bells?
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Let's see. Do you have any
I have
lores?
lore theology and lore heraldry.
Let's have you make an investigation roll, but instead of perception, let's have you attach it to intelligence.
And do I add any dice to this for the precise memory?
I'll let you add 1 dice.
So roll 1. Got it.
Yeah, so roll 1 extra dice, but keep your intelligence.
Yeah, keep no extra dice.
Yeah.
12.
12 is not terrible. It's not great.
Nope. It's meh.
Yeah. Remember to put your
Back to
investigation back to perception.
Got it.
You you search your memories, trying to find anything that you remember coming across, even glancing, and there is a history book that your wife was perusing at some point, because you remember the same kind of structure in the book, though it wasn't reclaimed by nature, it wasn't dilapidated like this one was. But where the memory of the name of the chapter or the name of the subject in general would be, there is just her smile as she kind of looked up, and you remember that this is one of the first times you found common ground with her in
Anybody who's looking at me would see me just with a silly smile.
Yeah.
For a second.
But you've seen this before somewhere, and you know your wife would have a better understanding of this.
So I'll say it, I've seen a piece of art depicting a building like this, but I can't seem to place exactly where. It was a history book. My wife would know. Damn.
Well,
she's not here. Anyways, what about the symbols?
Outside, the symbols look almost like Celtic knotting. There's
Interesting.
no beginning, there's no end. They just seem to go into each other. There is what looks to be an opening of where a door might have been. It doesn't look like there's any door as far as Rokugani doors are concerned. It's just this opening, and inside, without going in, it looks like a large meeting room. It also looks like some of the walls inside have reliefs etched into them. You're muted.
Just start
There you go.
walking up, I guess.
Yeah.
And as I'm walking up, I'm keeping an eye on either one of our flanks.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I will take one flank and I motion to the dragon.
Not a
I
girl.
motion to no. I motion to Tamori. Like to take the other side.
Okay.
Okay.
So like we'll have the Shugenja in the middle,
Mhm.
and I'm on this side, and Oguro like is where he could react to either side if he has to.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
If I could have everybody make an athletics roll for me.
Okay.
I'm really good at these.
Yeah, I was about to say
That
you're
is where I am
amazing.
not a Viking.
No.
I
Oh
am
my
bad at
god,
athletics.
today I am not doing well, dude. I've rolled so many ones.
Fuck you.
I've rolled
Is
so many ones today.
is this athletics check something that would you would need 2 arms to be really good at?
No, it is not.
Oh, thank God.
Mister, I want to do jujitsu with one fucking arm.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A real big
You
talk
only
about only
have to-
having one arm up until now.
And you roll the best out of all of us, so get fucked.
I don't know how. I just hit the button.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
so
bed.
Tamori got an 18. Doji got a 10.
Yeah,
Soshi got a 19. Aguro got 23. And the Isawa got 13. The Kuni luckily got 12. So anything higher than 10. The floor here is wooden. It's rickety. It is dangerous in some places, like the dilapidation. The rotting has spread, but you all managed to keep your footing. You find enough of a place to kind of set your weight against it. You can hear it creaking here and there, but it looks like the main walls in this part of the ruins tell the story of the falling of the kami, the founders of the clans. But it's the story from a perspective of an invasion almost. It looks like there's a lot of aggression to the fall of the kami, whereas some histories show it in a benevolence. This shows it in very much an aggressive manner. And even the Kuni is just confused. She's never seen anything like this. The Isawa is almost afraid to touch the reliefs. And it shows a crude map of Rokugan with little symbols of what looks to be stick figure men, sparsely spread out. Like there's maybe a dozen in total. But you also see that there's what looks to be another room to the northwest, and there's another room to the northeast. Almost like this creates a kind of Y shape of a housing unit. And there is what looks to be a grand staircase that leads to a second story and above. You can only imagine that there must be something underneath you, since the floor is creaking, and you can hear the kind of reverberation, the kind of small echo from beneath you.
Yeah, that has
Does
to
that
be a
mean we have to
basement of
split
some
up?
kind.
So, what did you say to each other?
Does this mean we have to split up?
No, we don't.
And Tamori starts backing into like away.
We don't have to back up. I mean,
No,
back
no, no.
split up. No, we're not splitting up.
Why? Why not? I can handle it. Look
There's
at
strength in numbers, and if anything would happen to you, my wife would never forgive me.
yeah, but it would be really fun to watch her beat your ass.
She wouldn't
While
beat my ass.
they're
It would be
talking,
far worse.
Soshi walks over to the engraving and pictures and just places his hand on it. And as he does so, his sleeve rolls down, and you can see the elaborate kanji tattoos that go down his robe and up his skin. He looks back at the group. I'm going to do something potentially
Dangerous.
reckless. If you
Go ahead.
if you wouldn't
I-
mind stepping back.
I stand back, but I get into a defensive stance.
Okay.
That's adorable. All right.
Guro stands behind
He-
you with his Tetsubo in like a batter's position.
At that, he kind of looks up. You are a strong one, aren't you?
He nods. Yes.
And brave, I assume.
Yes.
Honorable.
Of course.
My eyebrow starts to go up because this sounds like a trap.
Same.
Would you be so kind as to gift me a lock of your hair?
That's voodoo shit. No.
Okay, I want
I don't
to do
like you in that way.
Hold on.
I
Soshi-san.
will
I wanna
not
do-
be.
A quick spellcraft because I do have it.
Okay.
So maybe I know what the heck he's doing.
Sure.
Would I know? Wait, I have.
33.
Ooh.
I also have lore in Shugenja. Can I also like?
You can try, yeah. You can always try.
33.
Oh, all right.
12 is not going to do anything. 33 might get you some information. Is there anything?
Does it sound legit?
Is this an actual regent for a spell that you want to cast with Soshi?
It is an offering being made to a kami.
Okay.
Okay, so I look over and I just give a nod to my friend. Like, go ahead.
Oh, all right, I guess. But this doesn't mean that we're
No. I think I know what he's doing. It's something I saw my mom do a few times.
okay, because I don't.
No, it's not like that.
You're a good
No,
guy.
no.
You're a good guy, Soshi, but I'm not made that way.
Your comments and concerns are noted, and going forward, I will attempt to keep them in mind with any future decisions. Now, if you would be so kind, and he kind of reaches behind him and pulls out his eating knife on his wakizashi,
Yep.
and deftly reaches up and takes, twirls a piece of the hair in his index finger and then uses his thumb to cut it.
Yep.
And he begins to commune with a fire kami.
Yep.
And as an offering, he will be, for they like things that are valuable and things that are set on fire, he's offering the burnt hair of a honorable and strong bushi.
Yeah. And you see a girl just kind of like holding the side of his head.
It'll grow back.
Yeah, but the patch now feels weird.
You still look very,
I've seen you
very
try to
even.
cut. I've seen you cut your own hair.
Yes. And it's
Yeah,
been
and it.
a fantastic choice.
I just
The
give him
whole
that look
time
of
that
like,
they're
"Are you insane?"
the whole time they're trying to like soothe his like make him feel better, the Tetra is just this smile is spreading underneath his mask, just making himself feel really good about himself right now. All right, let's hope for the best.
Right? See what you get.
23.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is one answer and then some further clarity.
Okay. So you see the little embers of fire as you kind of grab the hair, your knife, and some flint rock, and you just kind of start to rub it against itself, and it quickly just becomes this little orb, little tiny orb of orange, and there's these little yellow eyes and just this white flame hot smile that comes up. Yes.
He looks
You
over at the
summon?
yes, and should you perform admirably, I have a treat for you. And he kind of dangles the hair out a little bit. Um, this painting depicting the kami. Tell me, what is this showing from the kami's perspective?
It looks at it. Oh, this is the fall. And you see it open its mouth expectantly.
I said, from your perspective. Tell me about the fall from the perspective of the kami.
And you see just this pouty face. This not human.
I am fully aware of that. If you don't want your reward for being helpful, I can simply throw this away.
And you see that kind of lower facing crescent shape of a pout increase on its face. It old. It older than kingdom, empire.
And it shows that the kami are. It basically looks like a battle, right? Like a full bore,
Yeah, yeah.
like revisionist history level from what we know.
Like
Shooting theater
the
of
kami
battle.
are shown coming down like meteors, like just straight up flaming symbols of anger and hate.
Interesting. Why did I've got one more question after this one. Why did what was the purpose of this place?
He looks around. It's home. It's a big home.
It's home to
Many
to
home.
clarify many of you here. And we're seeking a creature or spirit. And I describe the goo monster. And moreover, I describe the feelings that it inspired in those around it, because kami tend to think more from a non-physical sense. We're hunting this creature. Is it inside or in the immediate area?
You see a little tendril of fire come up like a hand and starts to scratch his top of his head. No. Not like that. No.
Misari's not home.
Mr.
So
Griffin no
I
here.
No. So that's my 3 questions. Cheat. So I dismissively drop the hair into its face,
Oh, its mouth
and
opens wide like
yeah.
a dune worm, and it just eats it all up. All of you just see this little ember of fire floating in the air. The Soshi just kind of dismissively drops the hair, and all of it just swirls into the ball, and then it just vanishes with a little puff of smoke. And the smell of burnt hair permeates the vicinity.
Was that at all helpful?
Some maybe not, but if you can look at the perspectives, that could be quite helpful. This is a holy site and refuge of the kami, one of the few that has been in existence for longer than the kingdom. The spirits here remember a version of the fall different from that we know. The place is sacred and significant to them. And explains why it's hard to reach and not widely known. It took the very limit of my investigative talents to even notice it was here. The thing that I think that we should be on watch for is a place that is strong in spiritual energy. This being that we're facing is a spiritual being linked to a shadow plane. The fact that these creatures are still here means either they're not afraid of the creature or it doesn't threaten them.
But this thing is also working with the spider demons, which they work as a hive mind. I'm wondering.
It is more than likely an aberration.
No, they never work alone.
Everybody give me a perception roll. Just perception.
Perception. Just perception.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be
Don't be
suspicious.
suspicious.
Where do I find perception again?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
It's at the top.
It's under air.
It's under
Underwater. Water.
yeah,
Water.
It's under your water ring.
A 15.
Okay. So Doji got a 15. Tamori got an 8. Good. There's the rolls I'm used to.
There's a Tamori roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right there. The world is as it should be.
Yeah, fuck all of you.
So she got a 17. Aguro got a 9, so you're not too far off. The Sawa got a 15, and the Kuni got a 12. Anybody that got more than 2 digits, here's something underneath you.
And then me and a girl, fucking, we had no idea.
Just staring at the reliefs.
Does it feel like it's walking toward us, or what does it sound like?
Yeah, could you describe this ruckus?
It's not a ruckus. It's not a ruckus, but it is almost like something is moving underneath you and trying not to make sound. So it sounds
It's working.
like they're for you and Aguro.
I look
That guy-
I look
that
I
guy's
look at the two
invisible.
blueless ones and I do this.
But it is shifting to kind of get away from you.
Interesting.
Shit. Oh well, they're gonna see it. I don't care at this point. I start moving stealthily to follow it.
Can I
I
feel
want to
my
do
arm?
that too.
Ooh. Give me an athletics roll.
Athletics or stealth?
Athletics first.
Oh. That means you're going to fall.
21.
Not with 21. 21 is enough for you to find enough steady ground for you to follow it. Now go ahead and give me a stealth roll.
19.
Okay.
Oh, why didn't I just use the stupid spell that tells me everything about a thing I'm looking at? Ugh.
Right?
Chewy,
Yep.
I wanna follow Peter's lead,
Okay.
but god damn it.
I
I
know.
have to do both athletics and stealth.
You do. You got to
I
find the
do.
footing.
I do. And you know
Yeah,
what?
hold on. Could they follow my footsteps and get a bonus?
They're still gonna.
I'm also
They're gonna
big.
have to make an athletics roll to try and find your footsteps.
Okay.
But I will give them one extra die roll.
You're welcome.
So
Thanks.
Was I able
Hey, I
to
didn't mean it.
feel?
21.
Was I able to feel my missing arm while all this was going on?
No.
Okay.
And
I
it's
will.
stealth.
Now stealth.
Hey, get fucked.
20. 21 and 20.
You
Better
said
than
athletics first with athletics first with a bonus die.
Yeah. So
Okay.
as you're following the doji's footsteps, since he's found the right kind of footing, you see a guru try to follow, but you hear the sound of something thunk underneath you, and part of the floor just collapses down, and you see the Asawa, the Kuni, and Aguro go falling down, tumbling into the floor beneath you. The three of you rolled high enough with your athletics to kind of follow the doji to a safe kind of little balcony looking down. And you see what looks to be an older gentleman with a rope in his hand that he lets go the second the floor gives way. And he looks up at the three of you. He looks at the three that are on the floor with him, on the basement floor with him. You shouldn't be here. You should leave.
What's that? What do we see?
It's just an older gentleman.
Oh, guy.
Yeah. He's thin, wiry looking. No hair on his head. Almost looks
I see you.
very pale, almost like powder from the movie. Almost like an albino, but not an albino. Because he doesn't have the pinkish eyes. They're an interesting shade of green.
Where did they fall?
Aguro, the Isawa, and the Kuni fell maybe 20 feet from you.
20 feet from me. I meant like down. How far down are
Down, maybe like 12 feet.
they? Okay,
12,
so
15
just like a
feet.
story.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
your goal is for us to leave because we shouldn't be here, and your way of achieving that goal was to drop us into a pit, further limiting our ability to leave. That is a truly innovative strategy, if you don't mind my saying so.
Peter?
The old
You
man.
might want me to roll initiative
I mean, why? What are you doing?
because I would, using my incredible crane agility,
Or your
work
old
my way
legs.
like bounce along some of the rubble down there and basically put a katana to this guy's neck.
Okay.
Actually, no, I would stop. He probably would know what the hell it is, and I would just stop it ready to draw on his face. But I want to get down there in front of him.
Okay. And he follows your movements as you climb down. And as you step up to him with your hand on the hilt of your sword, he kind of looks at you. Cocks his head to the side, just like, this is not leaving. You should leave.
Turn around and let me see the back of your neck.
Why?
Either that, or I'm going to detach your head from the rest of your body and check for myself.
Always so easy to go to violence with you people.
Real quick, while he's turned and focused his attention on Doji,
Mhm.
I position myself around the rim so I can just look down at the back of his neck and see if I notice anything.
There is no scar on it.
Okay.
Do you motion to me that you don't see one?
I debate not saying anything because I'm curious to see how far you're willing to go with this guy.
Oh, so far.
But I just kind of give a shake of my head. If it were possible for someone in a mask with a giant concealing hat to look disinterested, that's what it looks like right now.
I look at the old guy and I go, we've been dealing with shapeshifters that take the bodies of those they kill. There's a scar in the back of their neck after they do so. That's why I'm asking.
You have learned nothing from your time on the surface. Should not have given it to you.
What?
Leave this
Huh?
place before I summon my mate.
A girlfriend.
Is your mate a giant spider?
And he glares at you.
Who?
The old man.
That's what we came seeking. There's a nest of them which has been killing people off in our village.
Can you stop fucking talking, Peter? I think he fucking knows.
I know he knows. I'm trying to read his reaction when I say this.
You you notice that he's just glaring at you like you insulted his mate. And you notice that unlike the rest of society, he's looking straight into your eyes. He's not
I'm staring right back.
He's not averting your gaze. He is not treating you how a peasant should treat a samurai. And he takes.
Is he Rokugani? Or is he Gaijin?
He doesn't look Rokugani, but he doesn't look Gaijin either. Like there are like the height is that of a Rokugani. The body composition is that of a Rokugani, but the albinoism is not Rokugani.
What about the eyes?
The eyes don't look Rokugani. And as he steps forward, you see that as he blinks, there is another set of eyelids underneath that close.
Have I ever met a Naga?
No.
Or heard of them?
No.
Okay. So this is before we've had contact.
I almost took that as a language, but I figured that would make me too sus.
So this is before the Empire's made contact with them. This is the time period we are. Or have they already?
There are some people that have made contact, but there's not a lot.
Precise memory.
You already tried it. That was the road.
No, on this guy, have I read anything about them?
Oh no, not at all.
Okay. That's what I'm asking because I may have read something.
No.
And I go, okay, the spiders didn't blink their eyes like that. What are you?
I am a guardian, and you see, you feel the little air spirit that's with you.
Yeah.
Suddenly dart around you, and you can feel the air shift. And because air is the affinity for the Soshi, you also feel the air shift in the room, almost like a spell is being dropped. And you see the old man go from being about your height to standing almost 6 feet tall. No legs. There's just this snake-like tail that extends for another 10 feet. And there's just this muscular upper torso of a humanoid, clawed hands, and the head is a cobra's hood that comes back. And as he kind of sits there, and you hear his tail kind of click and clack like a warning. This is where we're going to leave our episode for tonight.
Oh god damn it! I was going to draw. No, I wasn't going to.
So
I love that. I love this so much. I'm
we
on
got
board with
a
it.
snack.
So
we got a snack.
as always, thank you guys for being here. Thank you to the audience for following along with us. As always, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. If you haven't got vaccinated, please get vaccinated. Apparently, monkeypox is a thing. That's two words I never thought it would go together. Also, polio is making a resurgence for some reason. So please, fucking take care of yourselves. As always, if you're watching live, there are phone numbers going up in case you need any assistance with mental health, as it is okay to not be okay. And there are resources that are available to you and that you have access to should you need them. So just know that those are there. They'll be in the description box if you're watching on YouTube. If you are not in the United States, there is a link going up so that you can find the resources in your neighborhood, in your area, get the help that you need as well. If you, because a lot of people, I think, consider mental health a taboo subject, and it shouldn't be. Mental health is part of our general health, and I think the more people understand that it is okay to not be okay, the more openly we can talk about it. So in that vein, also please check in on your friends that are either quiet or happy-go-lucky or strong personalities. You never know how a simple hello or how are you text can change the trajectory of somebody's life. So please check in on your friends, check in on yourselves, take care of yourselves. As always, you can catch us here on Friday for the finale of our Star Wars, this iteration of our Star Wars game. You can catch me Monday for our Anarch chapter of our Vampire the Masquerade V5 Chronicle. And if not, you can catch us next Tuesday for our Werewolf the Wild West, where you get to see a very different side of our little dragon. So there's always a place that you can find us. And starting next month, I will be running on Tuesdays over at McStabber Studios, a mage game. So if you love World of Darkness as much as I do, definitely recommend you checking that out and checking them out. They do some good work over there. So please, as always, have yourselves a good night. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you when we see you.